Hey guys, so yesterday we talked a little bit about, how commercials use the appeals of rhetoric to kind of make their argument for why you should buy their products. But why else do we make arguments? If you think about just the ways that we try to persuade people in day-to-day life, I think a lot of times it boils down to a couple of things. I think we make arguments to try to change opinions. If somebody has an opinion on something, maybe it's a sibling, maybe it's a guardian parent, maybe it's a teacher, you kind of have to present your argument in order to possibly change an opinion. Another thing that you might do, and I think about this as a parent a lot, you might present an argument to create awareness or to educate. So sometimes we put an argument out there in order for our kids or maybe for someone to have a better understanding, and both of these would be so that you think differently, maybe you do differently. I always love Maya Angelou says, when you know better, you do better. And I think that when we put arguments out there for people, we're trying to change their opinions, create awareness or educate in order for people to do better or to do differently. And that's really what an argument is about. It always boils down to these things. When you think about the different ways we see arguments, we saw it with commercials, but we see them in something that we're going to look at this week called PSAs. A PSA is a public service announcement. And public meaning a bunch of people are the audience of it. And when you think about doing service, that's like, it's kind of serving a purpose for a greater good. So when we think about a PSA, that public service announcement, you can kind of think there are reasons people put PSAs out there, but what do they entail? They're often very educational. So there's a lot of info in them because they are trying to change opinion or create awareness or to educate. They're often short. They're usually less than 3 minutes. Something else that we see, they're normally based, nonprofit organizations typically put them out there, meaning like a commercial is trying to promote money to get sales, but really a PSA is a group who's not trying to make money from it. They're doing the service, the good deed of it. And the last one, it usually deals with a relevant issue. And we know that term relevancy, we've talked about that a lot this year. It's those issues in our world today that are truly issues, that most people would go, yeah, I kind of see that as an issue, or I see why we need to have a better understanding or a different opinion. So these are the things that go along with PSAs. They're an argument, they look like commercials, however, they're way more important than commercials because they serve a greater good about a relevant issue. If you think about some relevant issues today, if we were in class, I would be like, who can think of a relevant issue today? And we would share those out and brainstorm them out. I can think right now off the top of my head, like the COVID stuff. The hand washing, the social distancing. I've seen PSAs on these two topics. Even some of our teachers have kind of put out, here's how to wash your hands as kind of to be funny with their students. But we definitely see PSAs in respect to this relevant issue. Another relevant issue might be like texting and driving. We definitely see teens and adults, who struggle with texting and driving and just need to know maybe to do better. We can also think of vaping. I think that's a big one in our society today. Possibly like the misuse of technology. I totally spelled that wrong. Technology. Cyberbullying. Social media. The harmful effects of social media. Mental health. And you know how messy my lists get in class. I have a little list typed out for you if you look at the notes that I've put for you. But you can kind of see there mental health, mindfulness, depression, cutting, just even ones like on acceptance and kindness, discrimination, racism, eating disorders, things like that, bullying. And then environmental issues, why you should vote, we see these things being kind of those relevant issues we see that PSAs are tied to or an argument is tied to. The Ad Council is the name of an organization who kind of collects and puts out these PSAs. Other people do as well, but the Ad Council is really, they're kind of the go-to for PSAs. And what you guys are gonna do today is you're gonna go visit that website and kind of explore some of the PSAs that they have out there. And you'll see there's lots of topics that you can choose to look through. And then on Schoology, I put a discussion link out there, and I just want you to share one that you saw that you thought was interesting. And you can just tell about it. I don't want you to put the link to the video. Kids can go there if they want to kind of find it on that, but they'll know it's on this website. But you're going to post and you'll see the discussion question on there. It'll explain what to do. Okay?